Welcome to episode 10 of Simon Says. We're here with Leyton House. We're working on colouring techniques today. They're going to be fun, they're going to be fast, and they're going to be very colourful. So I can't wait to show you what's inside. We've got 3 models. Come on in. This is my model, Emily. Emily is going to get a transformation in colour. Firstly, we're going to high lift the colour out, so we're going to make it a clean palette to start. We're going to use a 12-1-2 for that, and that is an ash violet. So those of you that don't use the brand, an ash violet will counteract the warm colour, so it makes it cool. So there will be a bit of warmth in that. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but we're lightening hair. So it'll be a controlled, beautiful blonde, and that is our palette. And then what we're going to work with at the front is the money piece, you know, face framing, balayage, whatever you want to call it, the Alice band. We're going to work on a technique through here. We're going to do good wedges of hair, take it fine to the root, and then as we get toward the end, we're going to come down in a V shape and we're going to block all of this out with colour. I'm going to use the Alpine blonding cream for this, and we're going to use a 7.5%. We're going to lift it up so it's nice and cool. That's our result we want. So we have a warmer blonde coming into a cooler blonde, contrast, but it's going to be soft and a subtle effect with a bit of strength as well. So the strength in it is its technique. We're going to start fine, and it's going to be a V section, and we're going to paint that on using freehand with the brush. And then we're going to come down and saturate the ends with colour. So it's going to be quite intense at the ends with this subtle start. Remember, we're going to have a lighter base, so that's going to just blend in beautifully. And then we'll put some layers in with the haircut as well to accentuate that look. So really exciting, another big change. Let's get going. So here's our lovely fresh palette. Remember, that's a 12.12 and it's 9% on the mid-lengths and ends, applied first, and then applied directly to the roots with 6%. So what that does is helps control, if it's lifting slowly, it controls it as it lifts. So we've got a beautiful tone. So what we're going to do now is our technique, and that's going to be our headband, our face frame, whatever you want to call it, but it's just going to highlight that front section of the face and everything's going to pop then. We'll add some layers in, which will look great. I'm going to use a technique where I hold the hair out. I've got a little paddle. I like to do that at the end so I can control it, and I'll show you as I go. But I need to put the product on quite thick. So I want to start quite fine at the front, and as I come down the hair shaft, I'm working on an angle, and then I paint out these ends so it goes all the way through that section. So we're painting on the top of the hair here, so you get this beautiful blend from the roots, and then I get thicker as I move on, really liberal with the product. So once I'll get going and I'll show you a couple of techniques. Simon Says top tip, use plenty of product when we're doing this technique and freehanding on, and that will get us a maximum level of lift with the colour. So lots of product. So with my section, the headband section, what I'm going to do is use Alpine blonding cream and 4.5. Because we've already lifted, that's just going to control it for me so it doesn't come up too quick. I've got time to put my technique in. So remember, be quite liberal with the application, hold the hair nice and tight. We come in fine to start, so using the side of the brush, right to the root. And as we move away, we come across the hair like that. So we're traveling down in a diagonal backward section. And then as I come down, I grab my board, let the hair fall over there, and I can paint then all the way through to the ends. So I can hold that tight, I can feather that line in as I go and paint it on. Okay, we're just putting on the finishing touches, and we're putting a toner on that front area. It's a Demi 10 0.01, and we've got 10% of Tickled Pink in there, plus 1.5%, and 1 to 2 mix. So we'll get that on and we'll unveil this beautiful colour. Okay, this is fine hair, but there's plenty of it. So what I want to do is volume spritz. I'm going to give it a full blow dry. This is not going to sit out here because it's not very layered, but I just want to give it a bit of a bend with the brush, and volume spritz is the best product to do that. Still nice and silky comb through with the product, but it's just going to fatten the hair up and give us some volume. So I'm going to be quite liberal with it. I want to get it on there, lifting it up and making sure I get it all underneath on every hair. Like, it's really important to apply your product in stages like that rather than just spraying over the top and hoping for the best. Be strategic. And then all the way down to the ends. And then I'll comb that through. Just the wide teeth of the comb, just to get a little bit on every hair. So what I'm doing here is just lifting the hair up. I've got a bit of tension on the hair. I'm just drying the roots and the mids. I'm not really concentrating on the ends. I'll let the brush do that work later. But I'm just sort of breaking it up and working around the head like that. Giving it some volume at the roots. Letting the product do its work. So I'm going to get some round brush action in there now, and we've got the FuzzFighter. It's great. I love how the barrel heats up and it smooths the hair out. But what I do like with this technique, it is about getting volume in the hair and twisting it on its way out, and we get this little soft wave in the hair. It is very soft, but it just gives the hair a little bit of volume. You know, I'm sick of straight hair. I think it's nice to sort of mix it up for the client and give them a fuller blow dry. So what we do, the hair is dry at the roots, probably 90%, so a little damp on the ends. So what we want to do is just dry that out first. So with it, plenty of tension, nozzle down nice and close. We're just going to dry that hair so it's 100% dry before we roll it up. And then we'll tuck the ends in. So tuck the ends in, and we give that a bit of heat. Always pointing the blow dryer down the shaft. We don't want to point backwards because that'll ruffle the texture up. So once we've got that dry, there's plenty of heat on the hair, so the barrel heats up. Let it cool a little bit, and on the way out, we twist over, and we can twist over again, and just let it release. So what that does, it gives the hair a little bit of bend. It's very slight, but we get a little bit of movement in it. You know, if you get your A game on your blow dryer, using the right tools, the right products, that client will be yours forever. And that might be the edge on a trim, and you give her a fantastic blow dry, she's going to be yours. As our final result with Emily, really soft tones. As you can see, that high lift that we controlled with the 6% at the roots and the 9% on the ends is this beautiful tone, and it's like a cool warm, it's like a mix. I really love it. I think it's so gentle. And then with the color framing the face, softly starting right to the hairline at the front, and then just moving away in a diagonal back. So small sections, remember, loads of product, so we go all the way through at the ends and the mid-lengths. But a beautiful, soft, gentle look, you know, that'd be a great alternative to putting highlights in the hair. You know, we've got highlights, but it's in a simple process and really on trend as well. I think Emily looks great. We just added a few layers to help kick it in and marry the haircut to the color, which is one thing that I think is really important to do. So thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.